I decided to join the microphone gang to see if this makes a bit of a difference. I know the videos that I watch personally, I can tell the difference, and you know what? I had the ability to make the purchase, so here I am. I also, for those who don't know me, record sitting on the floor because that's where I feel my most comfortable. So that is where I'm coming to you from, my new place in Sydney, technically Hornsby, North Sydney, which is only an hour and a half from where I moved from, which is Newcastle, and that's where I still work during the week. Yes, it's Tuesday today. This is my final week of 4 days of work until I go back to full-time next week, but I do get a work from home day, which is amazing, so I can spend more time with my partner here and I guess create a life, because I don't want to give up my job because I love it, and that is really rare. So I'm babbling. Hey everybody, my name is Janine. I use she, they pronouns, and welcome back to another episode where I talk about cross-stitching for an undisclosed amount of time. Today am coming to you from the lands of the Guringai and Darug people from Sydney, specifically Hornsby, but I am so very, very thankful to be coming to you and recording another episode. I kind of lost track of time. I moved about 8 weeks ago and I still work back in Newcastle, so there's a bit of a commute for me during the week, and I'm back here on weekends. So I kind of lost track a little bit of firstly time, but also what I've actually worked on in terms of cross-stitching. So I think I've gathered what I've worked on. And if I miss anything, it is what it is, and I'll include it as best as I can. I'm going to include today some things about new starts and finishes. I know I finished things, didn't fully finish them though. I've got progress on a lot of whips, and given that it is June and Marjorie has her strawberry moon sale started, I have a bit of progress and project inspiration to show you, which is really cool. So without further ado, before I make this video longer than it needs to be, I'm just going to jump right in and talk to you about my cross-stitching. Oh, actually, side note, what also happened in between me going off the grid is I attended a cross-stitch retreat in a beautiful, beautiful little town called Glen Innes, 6 hours northwest, sort of near the Queensland border, and by near I mean maybe like 4 hours from the Queensland border. And it was absolutely incredible. I hope I get a spot next year. I've already booked my accommodation in anticipation. And I've learnt a lot about that retreat in terms of travel that I would redo again, given that mostly I take May off for lots of different reasons. I have a lot of social things and like traditional family things that I do every year. It's also my birthday month, and so I think I learnt a lot about my travel time. Anyway, you're not here for that, you're here for cross-stitching. I will show you some gifts and table things and table gifts and things that I had gotten from that retreat as part of the retreat. It was a very last minute addition for me, which was amazing that I had the privilege to take that additional time off and was able to make it work with leave and time off, etc. So I do acknowledge that. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and let's go. So I am going to show you this in no real order. I'm just going to go with probably what's really close to me, but I do want to show you whips before I show you retreat stuff. Actually, no, let's just talk about retreat. So the Stitches Merchant Retreat is held in Glen Innes. It is a beautiful small town that is known as Celtic country or Celtic country. My dad always picks on me for saying it as Celtic, but whatever. And I had an amazing time. It was very cold. That the motels that I had booked actually provided electric blankets, if that says anything. And me personally, I'm a cold frog. I feel like I'm always cold. So that was really appreciated. So I took some footage and I will insert it at various points as I'm talking. But it was 3 days. We kind of started it quite late on a Friday morning, a Friday afternoon. I think it started at about 2 o'clock. And yeah, I have no words. The experience within itself was absolutely amazing. The setting was in the town hall, and it had all its sort of original, as from what I could see, maybe restored, I'm not entirely sure, architecture, and the shop was set up there, and then there was these beautiful stitching tables, and I sat with an incredible bunch of women and really got to learn a lot about them and share about me and what I do for work, and really sort of integrate that within both a cross-stitching way and also a political lens. I love talking politics. Everything is political. So that was a really fun experience for me to kind of interweave the necessity of the current climate while also talking about values and also talking about cross-stitching and how that sort of amalgamates into the one thing. So that was really cool. And yeah, I really had an amazing time. And I really can't wait to sort of further develop those friendships with these people, these amazing, amazing people. I was graciously invited to sit from Marie at the Grateful Stitcher. I was graciously invited from her to sit with her and her daughter, and really just felt electric. I don't know, I love women. I'm sorry, but women, I'm biased, but women are amazing. And I think that when we can come together like this and talk about these things in such a way and share an interest, it's wonderful, and I just can't wait to further develop these friendships as I attend more retreats, and likely from online sort of interactions as well. The retreat designer was the Primitive Hair. Now, given the current state of the climate, Izzy was supposed to come over and do a little bit of a class, it was to my knowledge, and had designed this really amazing pattern for us to stitch, which we received either the Saturday or the Sunday. I can't really remember. I have the timetable, but I'm not going to get that. And seeing this in person was this retreat piece that she made was phenomenal. And Tam, who ran the retreat, absolute powerhouse. Again, women. She worked quite closely with Izzy, to my knowledge, in making sure that this pattern was something quite authentically Australian. And I have never, ever, so far, and I'd love to be corrected if I'm wrong, have met an Australian designer, met a pattern designer who considers the Aboriginal culture, that, and colonisation, and just considers Australian culture, but First Nations culture and First Nations values. And the reason I'm bringing this up is the pattern that was co-considered and designed by Izzy, but also with input from Tam, was really around what was Glen Innes and what's an animal that can sort of speak to what Glen Innes is. And interestingly, everyone assumes Australia, kangaroo, koala, emu, whatever, it's on our coin. But what was really cool is this was different. So the pattern is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo, and the reason I bring Aboriginal culture and First Nations culture into this is my understanding is Tam spoke with local elders and got the Aboriginal and the local translation of that language, of the where do you get this elsewhere? Like, look at this. So the pattern in itself, when this was made up, was quite big. I have no intentions on starting this anytime soon, but I do have a bit of an idea that it would be cool to actually stitch this as like a pillow, like an animal cracker sort of vibe, and then have that on the back. So it's kind of like it in itself was quite huge, and that would be really amazing. So that is one of the things that we got as part of the retreat. No words. Like, are you joking? The other really cool thing is Marie, the Grateful Stitcher, had hand sewn project bags as like for everyone, as gifts as part of this retreat. And look at this. Are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? And there's even the Stitches Merchant tag. Like, the amount of hours and time and thoughtfulness and creativity and craft that was involved, I imagine, in this process, and then making them for every single table person. Like, again, women. So one of I bet you think that was the only pattern we got and the only retreat exclusive. No, we were also given this pattern, our common thread, and it's the Autumn Stitch Camp exclusive. And look at that. Can be finished either in a box or it looks like in a tray. And we were given all of the sort of pieces except this main sort of box, but we were given another. Like, how cool is this? Autumn Stitch Camp, Stitches Merchant. That's the inside. Like, how thoughtful is this? How very, absolutely incredible. So, anyway, back to this. I've purchased the box in itself separately, so I can include that when I finish this in a 40 count. I haven't painted it yet, but it sort of looks like this. So, how cool. I'm sorry, but women, amazing. Okay, I could look at this all day. Part of the other parts of the retreat is there were some really cute table gifts that were given out to us. They are little things like needle minders and little sort of bobbins, like, amazing. One of the other women on the table, Avril, vintage buttons and put together with a vintage photograph and some pins in this little box. Like, are you serious? These women are amazing and so generous. Some amazing floss cards, which is, from tartans and threads. Like, it was so incredible. Like, how thoughtful is that? And also how very relevant, because I went to the visitors centre in Glen Innes, and they have a lot of tartan. They sell fabric tartan. I bought a bookmark that's tartan, so that was really cool. This beautiful little, very apt for Strawberry Moonsale, a crocheted little strawberry from Nick's Days, from Nikki. Amazing, like, and I feel really fortunate, but also very, I want to prepare in advance. So I didn't know I was going to this retreat until like 4 weeks before I was supposed to go, and I didn't prep anything to give people, but I'm going to keep that in mind, because I just want to be able to share that love with those who are also really into like our shared cross-stitching sort of love. So that was kind of something I want to plan for next time, which is so cool. Yeah, I guess that was the main thing from the retreat. I did purchase a few patterns, for example, like Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street. There was some really cool stuff, and I was really mindful of adding more to a stash that I am not sort of working towards working on, if that makes sense. And then there was this primitive hair, little nocturnal stitches, which was really fun. Anyway, that's enough about the retreat. Now you're here to see whip progress. So let me jump into it. So it's June. June is Strawberry Moon Sal, and it is hosted, created, developed by the amazing Marjorie Maid, or Marjorie from Marjorie Maid. So for Strawberry Moon Sal, and for those of you who are sort of watching or have kept up to date with my Instagram, knows that I had 3 projects that I selected for June. One of them I finished. The others I have plans to start, which haven't yet, and I need some advice. And then the third I've started as a sal separately with an amazing Melbourne cross-stitcher. Her Instagram is Kirst. KRSTXS, Kirst cross stitch. I'll put it up here. So we have started a sal together of one of the other patterns. So what I want to do is show you first the finish. So this is an animal cracker. This is Pip, and she is completely finished. I finished her on the train coming from Newcastle to Sydney, and I've stitched everything called for except the blue dress. I made a conversion myself just because the colour that was provided was, actually I've got it here, the colour that was called for was this, like green here, and it is Cadet. And I just thought, I love a blue denim, like a dark blue denim, so I subbed it for Twilight. This is the first time I'm using a floss ring, so it's a bit disorganized. So I subbed it for that because I just thought that it would do just like, yeah, little denim sort of vibes. Anyway, so Pip is finished. There's her little strawberry. The goal is to finish her fully as an animal cracker. I've watched a couple of tutorials online, and I actually have a video up now of a channel, Tiger Lily Designs, that looks like that might be the Tiger Lily Designs that I might use to help me figure out how to finish it. Anyway, so she is on 40 count. It's called for. The Fox and Rabbit called for 40 count. Oh, I can't think of it. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen because I can't think. Oh, wait, here we go. Saltbush, 40 count saltbush. It is stitched 1 thread over 2. And I'm going to finish her as a little animal cracker. So that's my first finish for the Strawberry Moon Sal. Now the second, I haven't started yet, or I'll pause. Now the next project, this is the project that I am saling with Kirst, and it is Strawberry Hill by Twin Peak Primitives. This is what I've done so far. I was umming and ahhing so much in terms of fabric, but I think I'm happy with what I settled with. This is 36 count Decrepit by Number 12 Stitch Co. Those who have watched my earlier videos would have known that this is my most favorite fabric, and I think I say it every time, but I would buy a bolt of this because just look at the dies sort of lot. Ignore what's at the bottom, that's something I've UFO'd. But like, look at those colours. Anyway, so this is likely, maybe half of the pattern, or quarter really. There's the little strawberries for Strawberry Moon Sal. And in terms of our sal plans, I don't think we really have any. It's just going to kind of send progress updates when we can. And I decided to use 2 strands. For those playing at home, I did sort of do 1 or 2. I decided on 2 just because the fabric feels a bit looser. And I think that the one would have looked a bit too sparse. So yeah, I'll work on this as much as I can through June. So that would be really cool. Now the last one, this is what I need your guys' help for. So the final pattern that I am going to do is called The Earth Laughs, and it's by With Thy Needle and Thread, and this is it. So the Earth Laughs in flowers. I think these are strawberries. That's what I've taken from anyways, there and there. So this is where I'm stuck. I had an idea to start this on a pink, but I didn't like the floss toss that I'd done, and I don't have any of the threads to show you at the moment because they're in the other room. But my fabric choices, I was thinking, would be a nice little green would be really cool. Like this is French Pear from number 12 Stitch Co. And I thought this would be a really nice sort of vibe. This is 28 count though, and I think I would order another piece. I'm really into 40 counts at the moment, so I think I might sell this one and get a 40 count. So that was one idea. And then the other was Neptune by Bestitch Me. This is also 40 count. I don't know. The Earth Laughs gives me more green vibes, sort of more earthy tone vibes, more so than the blue. My other option is, though, for this, and this is such a tangent, Megan, the Seattle Stitches most recent Floss Tube 94, 96, she did Cam the Stitches, little, what is it called? Like a little picnic rug. And I think this would be a really cute colour to use for that, because Megan's is a bluey as well. So anyway, that was my sort of other idea. But anyways, French Pear, do we think the green? Do we have any other recommendations on what might go quite well with this? I don't know, hey. Sorry, it's blowing in the aircon. I mean, I'm not in no rush to start this, given that I've got Strawberry Hill, but yeah, I'm thinking greens. I mean, I could also use Decrepit, because it's rather than a pink. I don't know, because that's quite earthy too, isn't it? Like dirt, and got some thinking to do. But yeah, please comment if you feel up for it, to let me know what your thoughts are. This is going to be fun to clean up after I'm done. Anyway, the next project I'm going to show you is actually going to be whips. So I worked on 3 projects since my last floss tube that is separate from the ones that I've just shown you. So the first is I Like Cross Stitch by JetX Stitches. This was a Kansas City girl in a Colorado World birthday style start-a-thon thingamabob. I did not get very far. I just have had other projects call to me. So this is where you would have seen it last time. And I had only done partially of that big sort of flower motif in the top left corner, because I'm a top left corner starter. The fabric is 28 count Croissant by Paddock Lane Designs, and it's a beautiful orange. So this is where I'm up to now. This is 2 threads DMC, and I have done, oh, this is an even weave, by the way. This little bear, this gives me gummy bear vibes. This little insect, I think the corner here, maybe I'd already done that and started sort of coming down here. So that's what I've done so far. Haven't picked this up since, I probably worked on this immediately after my last video, and then I haven't touched it since. To be fair, I did move, and let me tell you, I have too many books to last me a lifetime, but also have to move with me, and that's just one shelf. I have another one in my bedroom, in our spare room, which is my craft / gaming / office. These 5 books here, 6 books are my partner's. There, these books, that's gaming. These books are all mine. Anyway, that was a bit of a side note. So that's where this I Like Cross Stitch is up to. The next project I worked on in this sort of 8-week period was the Modern Folk Embroidery Sale. Now this has actually done so much progress since I showed it to you last, but I'm still a little bit behind. And that's okay because I'm in a race of one, so it'll get done. So this is where you saw it last time, and to my knowledge I had just started the quote, or the first line of the quote. And this is where I am up to now. Look at it, stunning. This is one count. This is one thread on 56 count false starter by Number 12 Stitch Co. I'm using terracotta dinky dyes that I'd purchased a hank of. If I was to be up to date with the sale, I would have had all of this part completed, and then I would be starting the next sort of line, but I haven't, and that is okay. And just the quote, right? Large streams from little fountains flow, tall oaks from little acorns grow. So that is the Little Acorns sale. Got an itchy nose today. Now the last project I haven't touched in a long time, and I decided to use floss rings. So this project I worked on at the Stitches Merchant Retreat day 1, and I just wanted to make some progress on it. I love a willow tree, and I've said that before. So what I'd done is the dance by the Proper Stitcher. So this is it here. I've learnt my lesson, I'm not really a paper stitcher, but anyway, I'll try and digitize this, I think, to make it a bit easier. Because carrying that around, and although is it really any different than an iPad? I digress. Anyway, so this is the dance. This is where you saw it last. And this is where I am up to now. I was too quick to want to start this, that I am doing a different color than called for. This is molasses, rather than whatever was called for here, chestnut maybe. Yeah. This is one of the my most favorite fabrics from Paddock Lane Designs. It is the October fabric of the month from 2024, and it's called Cloudy Moon. That's the colours there. And I'm a bobbiner for DMC. I'm just starting to use floss rings, so. Love a willow tree, and interestingly, a lot of samplers have them, and I've noticed it only now. So watch this space. I'll probably start a few more things that have willow trees, because that's my dream, is to have one in my backyard. Cool. Now, the only other thing I really have to show you is a gift that was given to me by my stepmum, which is this really cute little cross stitch tin. So she went to New Zealand, back home, because she's from New Zealand, and bought me back this cute little tin that comes with 3 little cross stitch ornaments. How cool. When I visited him, or we met in Brisbane to go to Magic Round, which is a football event, he had packed this in his carry-on and given it to me. So they come individually wrapped. That's the wooden sort of ornament. They're kind of little kits. And it even has like the finishing fabrics and things like that. The backing fabric, which is really cool. So you've got a ruru, and I'm really sorry if I pronounce these incorrectly. A kakapo, and a kiwi. So I'll just show you this again. That's what they're going to look like. So that's really fun, and really I'm very privileged for that. So that's pretty much my cross stitch projects for the month of May and June. Where to from here? Now, I'm not much of a planner because, well, that's a lie. I'm a planner in my everyday life, but not so much in cross stitch, because I just like to go off really what I feel drawn to. I think what I'd do is, should I decide on a fabric, I'll start the Earth Laughs. Actually, I'll show you on this one last thing. So Marie's husband makes, it's called Stitches Timber Shop, makes incredible wooden cross stitch items that you can use. And this is how given I have a few paper patterns, this is how I'm keeping track of them. So like, I'm sorry, but how cool is this? It was just flat packed, easy to put together. And he was the one that made these as well. So shout out Stitches Timber Shop. I'm coming your way for more stuff. Even like little horn book finishes, because you know I fully finish things all the time. Well, now I can. So I think what I'll do is start that Earth Laughs. I would also like to make a bit of chunk of progress on this beautiful here. Keep you all updated on Instagram. And I think, the more I've thought about it, I think the more I want to use this for the Cam the Stitcher pattern. So I might actually even start it. And Megan used beads for the ants, and I'm just so sold. Kirst also did an amazing finish as well. So check out her Instagram, where she like handmade the frame and everything, and beautiful sort of tone on reds for her version of that pattern as well. So that would be really cool. So maybe that's something I thought of. The other thing would be really cool is if I could find some fabric that was already sort of like tartan-ish, that the traditional sort of picnic vibe. And I thought that would be really cute because it's almost just as you expected it, because it looks like a picnic. And I thought it would be cool to do like finishes before you frame it. Oh, is that an idea? Where I like, rather than just sort of frame it in itself, where I like loosen up the threads a little bit and bead them like kind of like a beaded picnic rug, and then frame that. I talk a big game, but the only finishes that I have are professionally framed, and that's only 2 of them out of the like 40 projects that I've finished. And then in a hoop. Anyway, that's some ideas that I've thought about. Then I might even consider and plan a little bit about what table gifts and a smalls exchange I might want to do for the next retreat, which is Daisy Chain in September. So that's my sort of plan. Really, I guess I better go clean all this up now. So thanks for tuning in to another episode where I talk about my love of cross stitch. Would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to comment, feel free to like my video or dislike it. It's up to you. The things I make aren't for everybody, and that's okay. It's for me to share a love which hopefully you would be on board with. So yeah, like it, dislike it, whatever. Comment, critique it. And I would love to see you soon.